Hello. Oh, shit. Hello. 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 Good evening. What? There's sunlight out. Don't look at that. That is a misrepresentation of the reality I'm currently in. It's nighttime, I swear to you. Look at this side of my face. It's so dark. That's also because the white balance is off. But I can't control it because I don't have a ring light. I'm sorry. I'm a little amped up. I've been cutting trees outside. So my energy's already kind of like here. And I need to bring it back to about here. Um, Anywho, what's up, guys? It's your boy, the Insane Game Freak, back at it again with another episode review of Pokemon To Be a Master. He's already a master. I guess he's just traveling on a continuing chapter. New chapter? Continuing. New? Continuing. Was continuing with old friends. Yay! Alright, so so new episode. Everyone's favorite has popped back up. Or not everyone's, but a lot of people's favorite. And the OG, Misty, has returned for some shenanigans. And let's be real here. The best part of this is Misty and Ash's interactions. That's like the best part of the episode. Absolutely. I mean, the Clawitzer thing is fine, but it's not really a big deal to me. The main thing is that Misty and Ash are interacting like old buddies, or as some would say, a married couple, because we all know the shipping fandom lost their ever-loving minds just seeing her and Ash interact. I haven't technically seen Misty interact with Ash since what was that? It wasn't even Diamond Pro. It was Hoenn was the last time I seen her interact with Ash. And I know, yeah, she's in Sun and Moon. I know she's in Sun and Moon, but I really didn't watch Sun and Moon, so I don't know how she acted in Sun and Moon. This might be closer to how she acts in Sun and Moon, because although I can tell that her and Ash do still have that nice aggressive back and forth that I always enjoy, it's not in the same vein as what I remember. Because the reality is they used to be a lot more mean to each other. And part of me chalks it up to like that they've both grown as people and as trainers, so of course their interactions aren't exactly the same like they used to be. The other part of me just thinks that it's Journey's having to tone it down, because we can't have them be as biting as they were in the 90s. They got to be like modern, like they're kind of I wouldn't say mean. They're kind of like teasy with each other, but they're not like outright mean to each other. So if you're a Misty fan and an Ash and Misty fan, I imagine you were very happy. I'm also glad to see a good eclectic mix of Pokemon. Although I think, unfortunately, these characters, these mons are even less represented than the ones in the first episode. At least we got to see all of them do like battle techniques. Here, the best thing, and Levani's one of my favorites because, of course, I am Best Wishes guy. I do like that Levani's the one that like carries Rowlet around. It's so weird, but I also think it's funny because it breaks gender stereotypes that Levani is a male, but very much comes off kind of motherly throughout the course of the episode. It's the one that's holding Rowlet a lot of the time. It consoles um who was it? Was it Corfish? Yeah, I think it consoles Corfish when it starts crying and whatnot. Granted, so does Ash, but I always appreciate that. I also love that we got like this manly romance going on with like Corfish and Clawitzer, which makes the fight kind of weird. That like he loses against one that Corfish loses against Politoed. Granted, they have both gained some ridiculous new moves: bounce, focus blast. I think that's dynamic punch. I don't, or it's either mega punch or dynamic punch. I don't know which punch. I think it's dynamic punch. My boy has Aqua Jet now, Metal Claw. Uh, what was the other one? It's Crab Hammer, Metal Claw, Aqua Jet, and was that it? Crab Hammer, Metal Claw, Aqua Jet. It might be it, or I'm missing the other one. I don't remember what the other one is. Either way, Nice updates on the move sets. I love the best thing is Misty and Ash's interactions. You're just not gonna even as someone who might be a fan of May, Dawn, Iris, Serena, Mallow, Lana, Koharu. That's a good one. I'm sorry, I had to do it. It's just or Lily or whatever. Misty's relationship with Ash will always be kind of the most iconic and the most unique, and arguably is one of the more fun ones. Like I might like Iris better as a character, but even I'll admit, like the bite that Misty has with him is very unique to Misty. Although I do like the fact that they're kind of more honest with each other now. Like for example, they'll bust each other out like with the fishing thing. I do like the fact that they reference that Misty gave him a lure and he doesn't use Misty's lure because Dent's lure is better, which is a nice tease because Dent's in the next episode. But I do like it anyway because he not only does she burn her, but like on top of that, also I will say Misty's like overly obsession with like Klitzer and this like fated to be together thing seems a little out of character. Not saying she never loved water types. It just seems really exaggerated. That's why I say that might be more of a journeyism or like a Sun and Moon thing where she was like overly obsessed. Because although she liked water types, it was never this ridiculous to me. I think they've actually played it up more as a gag in itself. And I think it works. It's kind of unrealistic considering. I also like how she calls herself the tomboy princess or tomboy mermaid. I like the idea that she's still like a pretty girl, but she definitely has not lost her tomboyish roots, which is like half the reason why you mess with Misty like that. She's just a fun character. She will always be a fun character, and I always love seeing her and Ash interact with each other. That is the best. Team Rocket, I ironically believe, is obviously one of their more least offensive representations in this episode. But we do still get, and actually, I think they weren't even that bad in this episode in terms of what they wanted to do. You wanted to just take off this thing's claw to eat it, and then give back the rest of the mon. It wasn't like they had no intentions of catching the mon. They were just like, we're just hungry and we want some crab meat. And a lot of you be like, oh my god, it's a Pokemon. I'm like, guys, a lot of y'all eat crab legs. Don't eat that crap. Y'all eat crab legs. How y'all tripping about them wanting to eat a crab leg? Like what? What's going on, bro? And it wasn't even the leg. It was just a claw. Now, granted, I get as a Pokemon, you kind of need that to defend yourself, but at the same time, Misty was about to catch it, so it wasn't like it's going to be still in the wild anyway. Um, Once again, I understand why they probably had Misty win that fight was for the sake of because we may not get to see her battle anymore. No, we're definitely not going to get to see her battle anymore. So let her go out on a nice note of beating Ash, I think is a little disrespectful because I realistically believe Corphish got them hands. So I feel a little disrespected the way my boy had to go out. But fine. I like it's one of those ones I would have preferred if he won, but I'm also not mad that he lost because to be fair, she even explains it. Politoed became kind of the guardian of the Cerulean Gym. So that means that thing's in constant fights on a consistent basis, defending the title of gym leader. So like it kind of has to have hands no matter what. So like I'm not really mad at it, and it's a nice eclectic mix of moves. Like it's a nice mixture of moves. I'm like, all right, all right, all right. We let it slide. The cutest moment is probably the one at the end where you can tell she definitely wants to follow Ash, and it's very reminiscent of what she does back in Kanto. She does something similar when she's like, "Well, you stole me for my bike." That was her excuse back in the day. She used to be like, "Well, you stole me for my bikes. I'm not letting you get away that easily, Ash Ketchum." Now it's like, well, I saw that Corphish and Klitzer get along really well. It seemed kind of mean to just like separate them. We even get like a couple of cool like manly moments where like they're doing like the hey. By the way, didn't realize what Corfish's name was in Japanese. So him coming out the gate going hey, and I'm like, oh, that's his name because his name is like this really long, begins with an H. It's like it actually goes A is a part of kind of like the name, not A but hey, whatever. Um, it was just a lot. It was a lot of nice, sweet moments. And then I guess a little bit of tidbit for you before we get out of here, because I think I like the episode a lot. Actually, I think the Misty and Ash thing really sells it, and just for that reason, it's probably getting an 8 for me. I genuinely enjoy watching those two interact. I actually remember getting out of my seat because I geeked out when they were doing this fishing competition. She gets dragged into the water. Ash Ash immediately busts her out for it. Then he gets a hook on the Clawlitzer. And what happens? He gets pulled into the water too. Although Clawlitzer is on some bull. This man was able to did the whole wrap around his arm and yanked him off the dang pier. And she was like, yeah, what now? The facial animations I think really work. It's one of the few things I'll say about like the new animation style. They're more anime-ish faces that I think hit harder for some of those jokes, because a lot of it's just visual humor. Like the camera just pans over and you see Missy and she's like, and he's like, man, like he didn't want that crap. I even like some of the more references about how Ash is impatient and whatnot. Although if I want to be nitpicky, Ash has been fishing since he was like before he was 10. So I feel like his fishing game should have been better than Misty's. Like I feel like the joke really should have worked to where like I like it both ways, but I would have preferred it a little bit more if like Ash caught first, got screwed over, then Misty mocked him, but then like it happened to her, so he could have the last laugh. But that's a personal thing. That's just a personal thing for me. But I think other than that, I like the episode. Misty's smile. My first impression of Misty is that Misty originally was like the original like orange-haired chick to get on my nerves. Nami was like the second one. And I remember early on I used to not be able to stand her. But I think what always helped me be fine with it is that Ash would not let her get away with nothing. Ash will always be on her, and I love that dynamic because it was a constant like back and forth and this biting, and it very much made the chemistry absolutely amazing. And then we gotta go next week and get Brock and Silent, who I don't know how this is gonna go. I would like to say they got Silent for more than one episode, but let's be real here, they didn't. And I feel mad because what's gonna end up happening is he's gonna low key share the spotlight with not only Misty and Brock, but like he doesn't get to have a lot of. I hope I get some BW references. I really do. If I can get some BW references, I'll be so happy. But I feel like it's not gonna happen, and it freaks me out. But I want some BW references. I also would like to see Missy's reaction to tasting time, because only I know how Iris used to react to it. So I'm curious, since Iris and Misty, that's also the other reason why I kind of wanted Iris to be in the episode, because I feel like Iris and Misty's interactions very much mirror each other. So I'd be curious to see if the show would go out of its way to show the differences between how Iris acts with Ash versus how Misty acts with Ash. And then I guess last thing is, Latias is still around, so I guess this is like an ongoing plot. Why? Why though? I just don't know. Oh, but 8 out of 10. I like the episode. I enjoyed it. I'm excited for more because my son is coming home and I'm very excited. I know there's a lot of fans who are excited, and I hope this episode doesn't do anything to disrespect him, because I need him to maintain his GOAT status, especially because they're putting him and Brock in like another episode. Granted, Brock is more of the catalyst of the episode. Silence is kind of here to help. I wonder if they'll even explain why they're together in the first place, so we'll see. Anywho, this has been your boy, the Insane Gang. Fake. I enjoyed the episode. See you back here next week for another review. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, I'm drowning on my own saliva. This tastes disgusting. Good. Bye.